I'm Andy.
And I'm Rich.
And welcome back to another episode of Get Gaming, the channel by two board gamers with a Y for
board gamers with or without a Y.
That's exactly right. And today we're bringing you the next installment in our 2022 in review. So you might have noticed a couple mystery videos of dubious age going up recently from January 2022 and February 2022. Those are actually, that was the first time we ever filmed. I think that was one of our first filming sessions that we did all the way back in March.
Yeah.
And the channel, as you may know, did not launch until June because I think doing that February video almost killed me. It was my first time editing an iMovie.
I feel very attacked!
Relax.
I was having a lot of issues. So then I never ended up editing the January video. And then I decided because we're doing a big cumulative retrospective for 2022 in general, I would post those. So if you want to watch all our monthly stat videos for the entire year of 2022 leading up to our 2022 in review big video reveal, then you can go and do that, and I'll link to the playlist down below. We're going to go and backfill because we never filmed stats for March or April. So we are going to travel into the past. Oh, do you remember anything about March 2022? Well,
sadly, no.
Luckily for you, I have an Excel sheet which will help jog your memory because March 2022 was the month we started doing our bi-weekly game days. We had the first one at the beginning of March.
Oh, okay.
And that's when we first played Smartphone Inc. Do you
I don't even
Smartphone
know where
Inc?
Smartphone Inc. is.
At your house?
It's at my
I mean,
house.
it's your game technically, I
I
guess.
know, they have lots of games here too.
Yes, well, many of your children do like to crash at my place.
They do.
Like Dragonheart, Kahuna, Longhorn. They're right over there on the table. It was a good month for gaming, but let's go over the stats before we get into the games. I just wanted to see if I could jog your memory at all, but I can see my work is cut out for me. So in the month of March 2022, we played 56 times and we played 24 unique games in the month of March. 5 of which were new to us / me, which means at least some of those were new to you. I liked when we went chronologically through it in the November video.
Okay,
which is in the future technically, so you don't know about it yet. On the 2nd, we played Ramen Fury and Fun City. This is when we were still in that Fun City kick because we had just gotten it at the Goodwill.
We got Happy City at Goodwill?
No, Fun City.
Oh, we were still in the Fun City phase. Oh, God.
Which I don't know if any of the content we filmed for Fun City has actually made it to prime time yet. So do you want to talk a little bit about that game?
I learned a term that I didn't know, which was slog. I didn't know what a slog was.
Somebody's little old grandma, yeah.
You can either walk or ride a bus around this city, and you're trying to get, there's tickets that come out, and they're stamped with a time where the store is going to be open. There are different kinds of stores. There's a bowling alley, restaurants, the doctor's office. The game starts at 9 in the morning. There's kind of a clock.
Little punch clock.
Yeah.
This is a game from the 80s, by the way. Thank you. I don't know if it's Hasbro.
You have to advance the clock after each
Time's
turn.
always ticking.
Yeah.
Tick-tock.
And it could be that depending on how far away you are from a particular location, that comes into play because it might be that the ticket is only good, say, till noon. And you don't have enough time to get over to that particular one. So there's strategy involved in planning which tickets.
I really, for mass market games circa 1988, I found that the way that this game used time was very interesting. It is technically a roll and move, so there's nothing super groundbreaking. But I just love that little clock. You're literally punching the clock. And sometimes, because that clock, I think is deliberately kind of busted. So sometimes it'll go forward 10 minutes and sometimes it'll go forward 20 or 30 minutes. You're like, ah! But you're always doing a thing. You're always like, Andy, no, you don't know how to do it. Let me. And you put out your finger and you go. oh so delicately. It's half the fun of that game.
Is watching me click the clock.
But you didn't tell them about those crazy cards. They're crazy.
Well, the crazy cards are things like you fell asleep on the bus and you have to get off at the end of the line.
You play that against somebody else while they're on the bus. Because when you get on the bus, you have to announce that you're traveling by a bus, which I like in a roll and move that you have those shortcuts.
There's quite a bit of treachery for this game, really, because you can sabotage them in various ways. And there's other cards that allow you, say, to steal from the other person's.
That's always fun. Or you literally flip the card in the air, and depending which way it goes, right, you get to
either get to steal or not.
Yeah.
You throw the card in the air.
Literally, and it's like, where did it land? Yeah. It's just so much fun. It's like really just good old Ameritrashy fun. If you find it used somewhere, I highly suggest it because I think it's actually a hoot. And, not just a nostalgic hoot, because obviously we never played that game as kids.
No, I don't remember it.
But I found it at Goodwill for like $5 and was worth every penny. You refused to continue playing it with me because I was getting too crazy with those crazy cards.
I didn't refuse to stop. Well, maybe I did. I don't know.
So this is also the month when we introduced Jamila to Fast Sloths.
Oh, okay. I remember that time. So that was March, huh?
She quite enjoyed it. That's a Friedman Freeze game where you're a lazy sloth who doesn't like to walk, and you're hitching a ride on various different animals. It's a pick up and deliver. So you are the sloth that is being picked up and delivered to various trees, and the first person to eat 8 leaves first wins. But the leaves...
Is that how it...
Yeah.
It's 8 leaves? Really?
Yeah, and but as
that.
you eat leaves, you get to unlock a different variety of potential card plays. So you're playing the animal cards to be able to move the animals and potentially pick up the sloth along the way. And the leaves are at the edges of the board. So you have to do a lot of traveling.
You have to go a full
different terrain.
way around.
And some of the animals can only go over different types of terrain. So you're constantly hopping your sloth from one animal to a different animal to a different animal. But as you are able to add leaves to your board, that changes the amount of cards you'll be able to play and draw each turn. So it gets more in the middle of the game, but as it gets closer to the end of the game, you get less play.
Did that actually have a English rule book, or did you have to go online?
I have the German version because the English, it's very hard to find. So this is a pretty big box.
So cute. Look at this cutie little sloth.
So for those of you that don't know, Friedman Freeze has his own publishing company.
Oh, really?
It's more like self-published by 2F Spiel. He has obviously very small printings of his games in the States, so they're much easier to find in Germany. So this is the German version. I had to print out the English rule set, but it's mostly language independent for the most part. Once you learn
it's pretty easy to follow, honestly.
Yeah, I like the tagline is "Nimm mich mit," take me with you. Because the sloth is like, hey, animals, take me with you. I want to go for a ride. But it's very fun. A lot of people like to talk trash about Friedman Freeze because I guess he has some games that are very, out there and very polarizing.
This one could be out there, but I like it.
No, it's pretty light. It's very family weight. Actually, I think this would be a really great game to play with kids. It's not difficult.
8+. Yeah,
I think that's accurate.
I do too.
And I just love pick up and deliver. If you like the pick up and deliver mechanic in Horrified, I think this is kind of, a lighter, friendlier spin.
The other thing I'll say about it is I like the actual game board itself.
Oh, yeah, there's different game boards that you can put together, so it's very modular, the different maps that you're playing. I like that. So that is fun. The rivers, in different places. The mountains are in different places. Sometimes you have islands you got to travel back and forth between. And the different animal powers are all very asymmetric, which makes it very dynamic and fun. And you have different combinations of the animal cards you can play each game. Though it kind of says there's certain ones you can't mix with others, but you can.
Like all games.
There's just some that work better together than others. It's a really fun game. You guys should check it out. If you can find a copy. Like I said, it was out of print for a very long time. You can find the Chameleon mini expansion pretty easily, but we have yet to play with that. So yeah, we should dig it out again. It's been a while since we played it.
Oh yeah, I missed that game.
And that was one of our first game days, as we played that with Jamila. And we also introduced her to Cafe that same day.
Oh,
Which
wow, that's
she'll
good.
also enjoy.
We introduced her to two fairly meaty games in the same day, huh?
They're light-ish. I mean, we've
They're
really
accessible, but it's still,
we've really
they're
proselytized Cafe. Like, that's such a great game. I love that so much. And it's so easy for people to pick up and get into.
There's something about that game that it just has. It almost is like a lifestyle game because it's like you could.
Go that far.
Well, I can imagine just sitting in the coffee house with my honey and my coffee, and we're playing cafe, and then our friends come along, and then we talk politics, and then we go out and.
We've talked ad nauseum about Cafe already, I think. So
Okay.
This is the month I finally managed to teach you Spirit Island. It was the time you played it when you actually kind of liked it, I think.
There was one time that I thought I liked it.
One time. Maybe lightning will strike twice. Who knows? And you might find you want to return to the Island of Spirits. It's gonna be like season 4 of Lost, and I'm literally going to have to take his child hostage and threaten him in order to get him to return to that godforsaken island. Oh no, she wanted to go save her husband because she'd given up her husband for dead, and then she finds out he could potentially still be alive. That's why she goes back to the island. I loved Lost until last season.
I started it. I got
the fifth season is the best, but a lot of people think it jumped the shark because of time travel.
I didn't make it past like 3 episodes.
So other things we were playing in the month of March. I mean, we're playing Zombie Teenz. That's the game we played the most of because it's so quick, and we still haven't finished the campaign.
No,
we got most like 3/4 of the way through it, so we're close.
I'd be coming over and going, "Want to play Zombie Teenz?" And he would be like, "No."
It's like your Spirit Island. You're obsessed that game. You loved it.
No, I didn't really love it. I just so easy to play. It's like
15 minutes a
It's
game,
like opening a bag of chips, and it's hard to. It's like you just keep eating it, and then before you know it, it's turned into a meal, and then you kind of feel sick.
It's a delightful little co-op legacy game, but it's really marketed for kids, and I don't know what I was expecting. I knew it was a kid's game, but I figured, well, just because it's a kid's game doesn't mean it's not a good game. And it is a good game, but the stickers are fun. Everyone loves stickers. And it is a solid co-op game, but it's like the game mechanics itself don't really change that much. Like the core mechanics don't change enough throughout the campaign for me to make it interesting enough was sort of my complaint about it. And still kind of is my complaint about it, but I'm willing to be a completionist and finish that campaign. Just to say we finished it, because it's not like we can sell it. It's like a legacy game. It's all stickered up. Are you willing to go back on that journey to the zombie
Of
teams?
course I am.
I'm surprised I'm the one begging for this when I just said I don't really like that game that much. But and this is the month I introduced you to Kingdomino, because I finally got a copy of that in March.
Yeah. Good game.
Bruno Cathala,
I think a lot of these games are good, like take out and just we could dust it off and play it any old time would be fine. Take it on a picnic. I don't know.
Yeah, Kingdomino is pretty light. I was really obsessed with it on BGA for quite a while, and we haven't played it as much lately. I don't know why. I guess
you play it once in a while on BGA, don't you?
I do. We don't play our physical copy as much, and I don't know. I thought you enjoyed it. I like it too. Actually, I think I preferred it too. That's what I realized after playing it with you. Because the grid that you're making when you're playing it at 4 is only 5x5, and I like the 7x7. It's more expansive, gives you time to kind of, build out. And I like anything where you're building a map. Is kind of the main thing about that game.
So would you call it a tableau builder, or
it's still tile placement? Because you're scoring for adjacencies.
I admit,
essentially.
As far as tile placement games go, I think it's as good as any. There's you really get such a feeling of satisfaction when you complete that. It's like a picture.
It's true.
Game.
If you can get your castle red in the center,
yeah,
fill all your holes.
It's a good game for people that are okay. I was gonna say it's a good game probably for people that are perfectionists, because I think you can actually get. It doesn't come out every single time like that, but it's really pleasing when it does.
It is just a pleasing game, I think. And it's something I definitely like keeping in the collection because it's so light. I know it'll come back into circulation at some point. It's just, I'm thinking about those things, as we're going over this. That's kind of the whole point of this, to go back and look and like, oh, what haven't we played in a while? Or what did we play a lot of, but it's been a while since we've been playing it, kind of thing. So we got a patchwork in. This was the last time you played Carcasonne in person with me. Because we did the Princess and the Dragon, which I love that expansion. But that dragon is the dragon is the great equalizer.
I mean, I don't know what it is. I like that game and I don't like that game. It's kind of like both.
I love Carcasonne.
I'm not really sure why.
I know why.
Why?
Okay.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry I asked.
If Celia is watching this, stop up your ears and pause the video.
Watch Celia do this. Go la 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 la.
2 years ago, almost to the day, because it was New Year's Day, and we're filming this on January 3rd.
Okay.
Me and Celia, because we used to play with Celia like Dominion and Seventh Wonder and Carcasonne. Those were like the 3 games that we were playing like ad nauseum at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a New Year's Day where we had a session of Carcasonne. I decided to do Super Carcasonne, which I decided that we should put together Celia's copy of Carcasonne and my copy of Carcasonne, and we did like a marathon Carcasonne. Oh, she's Carcasonne. Sorry, I keep on mispronouncing it. Carcasonne, we had to stop in the middle of the game, and I had to kind of do a therapy session and be a mediator because Rich and Celia.
Was this the
No, that was a separate occasion.
Okay.
This Celia and Rich really, you got into a fight over Carcasonne.
We did not.
They don't remember.
God. We didn't have a fight.
Yes, it's so traumatic. He's blocked it out of his memory, and that's why he can't play Carcasonne anymore.
She's very competitive.
She was taking all your castles. She kept on taking all your castles, and it was just pissing you off.
I kind of remember.
She was like, "I'm just playing the game how it's meant to be played." It's mean. It's mean. And I don't think we had the language at the time to understand why we were feeling that particular way. Like, I didn't care so much. I mean, yeah, she was beating the pants off both of us, but, that didn't bug me so much because I like the map building element of that game. But she was definitely much better at the actually getting points part of that game. So March is also the month when we played Castell. That's one time you played Castell. Yeah.
Been that long ago?
Yes, and I've been begging you to play it again ever since because I love that game. So in Castell, you're Castellers in rural Catalonia, Spain, and this is based on a real thing. They go around and they make these human pyramids and compete in these festivals. And they're these big human pyramids, and then they put a little kid on the top, and they all wear like these little helmets. A really crazy theme for a game, but basically it's this Eurotastic thing where you're traveling across this map and trying to recruit different Castellers to be part and build these human pyramids and then go and compete in the festivals. So it's all very super thematic, actually, for the mechanics. I just really, really like that game. What's really brain-burning about it is the action wheel, because the actions you can take in each particular region change because this wheel is constantly turning and showing you which action you're going to be able to perform in that region. So it's one of those things where you can kind of math out what's going to happen when and where. So the timing of the game is super crunchy in it. And I think the thing you were struggling with was understanding how to visualize building the pyramids, because it has all these tiles with the people on them and they're different heights. So you put taller people on the bottom, obviously, on the human pyramid, and you put shorter people at the top. It's kind of, the tiles are pretty similar in size, so, judging which ones are taller or not is a little hard at first, but there's numbers. They are numbered.
I would definitely play it again, and it could be that I just
you understand it better.
Yeah, I probably just wasn't ready for that game.
I think you were just cranky and hangry at the time, because it was the even time.
I'm really getting bad press.
Are you out of hockey?
No, I'm not.
This is also the month that you got New York Zoo, which you still like.
I do.
We haven't played it in a while.
No, I think you thought it was just super, super light. It is pretty light, but
I like the animeeples. I like the breeding.
I like the whole breeding thing, and
Very Uwe.
Well, I'll tell you, the other thing I like about it is I like that long, it's got a long,
little
slender board.
Rondelle kind of thing, because you're moving around, your elephant's moving around the
That
circle.
is one of the things I like about it.
I like the drafting of the tiles, I think is clever.
kind of like that setup. There's something about it that it's
streamlined.
Yeah, I mean, the way that the elephant moves, and you there's certain actions you have, like you can move it 2 or 3, or maybe it's 3 or 4 spaces, and there's certain rules about what you can land on and what you can't. But still, it's really easy.
And March was a Juicy Fruits month. We're really heavy on the Juicy Fruits. I think this is the month when we played Juicy Fruits with Celia, that 3-player one, and she wiped the floor with us at Juicy Fruits. She was really into it. That's the game I should bring out to play with her again, but I don't know.
Well, I bet we didn't play the Soda Factory thing with her, though. Did we?
I can't remember if we were using that yet.
Changed the game quite a bit.
It does, the other board. So Juicy Fruits, if you're not familiar, I think we've talked about it a bit on the channel before.
Okay, can I just say one thing first?
Yes.
The fun thing is this game actually involves bribing officials.
That's right. Your Banana Republic. Really, and Banana's a resource.
It actually shows you kind of how it works.
The different boards, yeah. And so the scoring board has an opposite side where there's sort of like this mini game in the Juice Factory that you can do. It's just a different way to get points. It's basically a track that you're bumping up to get bonuses. So it turns what is a relatively light game into, I think, almost crunchy Euro-tastic point salad. It's really bizarre, the transformation that it kind of undergoes. And I've talked about the solo mode too, which is fantastic in this game as well.
Here's the officials you bribe.
They're very friendly looking.
And here's the Juice Factory.
Right, so you have like the different bottles of the different points you can get if at the end of the game if you've gone a certain length through the factory, and you have these different tanks you're going into, and you have to pay certain fruit in order to basically follow the lines to move along and get these little point bonuses. It's not a hard little meta game, but it's something that can distract you from the other things you're trying to do in the game. So it makes it kind of a juggling of different priorities that you have.
And your board, your individual board looks something like this.
Yeah, and so the solo boards are on the other side where you're playing against the Pineapple AI, and I'm definitely going to do a solo board.
I have to say, though, this is really, I don't know how much
you're just pulling everything out and dumping it on the table.
I'm not sure how much this game retails for. But
$50.
Look at this. Look at this beautiful insert thing. I mean, I kind of feel like this game...
I love the aesthetics of it.
I do too.
Very sunny and tropical and very cute.
And there's a gator farm, which I always try to get.
It's like a family weight game that you can
turn
into a crunchier game.
Yeah, yeah.
It can be very crunchy.
It's like a crunchy family game.
I mean, some people I know have complained that they got a little bored with just the slide board puzzle of moving the fruit along.
I love that part.
I think that's a big part of it, and you either find that kind of an interesting puzzle or you don't, I guess. I think definitely play with the Juice Factory if you're playing it with some hardcore gamers, and don't play with the Juice Factory if you're playing it with more like kids or casual gamers.
Right.
But I like that you have the different modes you can play, and this again, the solo mode of this game, mwah.
Wait, I have to give a shout out here because you're like, what? What is he doing? He's going off script. I was going to read about the
Annika Heller, the illustrator.
Because the illustrations are super cute.
They are super
cute. And it talks about her, and she's living in Hamburg, Germany. And she crafted her first game at the tender age of 10 and went on, eventually, to study design. Whenever she's not drawing, you'll likely find her either at the table playing games or outside enjoying nature.
Okay, Annika. She sounds like a fun chick.
Look at her. She does look like kind of a fun chick.
She's got the overalls on, she's up in her garden. The designer looks like a total nerd.
Hey, Annika.
Christian Stier. God, what a German name.
I was going to say, hey, Annika, do you want to show us around Germany?
Annika?
Yeah.
I'd hang out with Annika.
I would too.
I mean, we got some Animal Kingdoms in. That was in there too.
Okay.
Which that's a game we've kept in the rotation. Codex Naturalis, which I think we talked about that again recently, didn't we?
It came up. We don't play it very often.
I was playing a lot of Glow on BGA, which is still a game I'd like to introduce you to. It's another dice chucker. Yeah. And, it's basically a roll and move when you think about it. But that's the one where it's the black board with, it's like the black and white world. And then you have, the colored dice and icons that you're trying to go.
It looked interesting to me when I've seen it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, it's kind of... I'd forgotten about it, kind of. I mean, it's not a super deep game, but it's just satisfying, to check those dice. It's all about dice mitigation and dice manipulation.
It's like that is very big right now.
It always is. People love dice.
Yeah.
People like cards. People like dice.
Gambling and vice. Prostitutes.
On that note, if you can remember, what was your favorite board gaming experience of March?
I did really enjoy, since you brought it up, I did really enjoy playing Fast Sloths that time with Jamila.
Oh, it was really fun. She got really into it, and she's like, oh, I love this game.
I think that brings us back to something that is one of the reasons we got in this, is to kind of turn on other people to playing games.
Always proselytizing.
Yeah.
Board game preachers.
It really makes you feel good when other people respond well to playing a game that you like and get excited about it.
It's the best feeling in the world, because you're like, yes, having people see what you see in board games is really cool. On the flip side of that, there's no worse feeling than trying to introduce somebody to a board game and them not having a good experience for whatever reason. And one of the big mistakes I make is that I really think time and place makes a big difference for someone's enjoyment of a game. It might be a game that they could enjoy, but if something's not going right for them that day, or you're trying to have them play a game that's not really the right vibe for, the mood that they're in right then, like me always trying to play a strategy game when people really want to play a party game, that's my big mea culpa always. And you think I'd learned my lesson, but I do it every time. We need to invest in more party games, I think.
Or at least
but not like stupid party games.
Yeah, we need to figure out which games that we have could become party games, or just learn more about party games that aren't stupid. So tell us, we want to hear from you.
And that's not a word game, because most of the party game
games.
Recs I hear are basically word or clue giving games. I'm not really, it's not really that interesting to me. I was an English major. I'm done with all that. I don't want a game that's just, fill in the blank. Tell me a joke. Like the jokey kind of complete the joke kind of games, like Cards Against Humanity adjacent games. I'm not into that style, really, because there's no real strategy. And it's not stimulating enough for me. So I want something that's going to make me think, that's not a word game, that I can actually get other people to laugh and have a good time. Because it's like, I need those games that are just kind of like, if people want to, drink and gab and kind of, those kinds of games.
Yeah.
I need more of.
Yeah.
To fill out the collection, I think. Because Say Anything has been my go-to, but I don't know where my copy went. You have it. You have 2 copies in your house or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
My favorite gaming experience in the month of March, I must say, was Castell.
Well, I'm glad we had it. Then, aren't we?
We are. I love that game. It's so good. Anyway, we'll try. Again, I think, as I was just saying, playing that game with you when you're in a better frame of mind, I think would help a lot. Yeah, I think now that you've played other Euros too, you're not as allergic to playing a game that lasts longer than an hour. Because I think at the time it was really hard sell, especially later at night, for you to play something that was longer than an hour. Because you just get tired.
I do get tired at night.
That's all we have for you today. Stay tuned for our April video and join us in the countdown all the way to our December video and our 2022 in review. That's going to be a big video. We're going to tabulate all our stats for the whole year. Until next time, I'm Andy.
And I'm Rich.
And this has been Get Gaming. And remember to always be gay.
Do crime.
Don't get caught. Get Gaming.
There we go. Earthquake!
My Tetris!
Oh my god!
I knocked the whole thing over.
Oh, the flood's coming!